Hi, welcome everyone to the 24th annual Petersheim, our closing ceremony. We made it, we're here. It's been quite a week, it's been quite a semester. You know, a lot has happened, a lot has been going on this week, but you know, we're finally here to this closing ceremony. And you know, it's a good time now for us to be able to, you know, take a moment to breathe and to appreciate the things that that we've been able to do and that have been done during this week and, you know, throughout the semester. You know, I heard Dr. Lopez talking about how I wasn't quite sure, you know, how Petersheim was going to run, if it was going to run, and that was, you know, kind of a recent conversation that they were having too. And but through everyone's hard work, they got it to go, and it went really well. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Edward Tall. I'm in the Department of Biology, and I'm going to be hosting this ceremony today. What I'd like to do is to, you know, since we were talking about reflecting on what we've done, what we've accomplished, where we've come this week, and taking a moment to appreciate, we can also take a moment to be thankful and to consider the blessings that we have that we were able to do this. And so with that in mind, I would like to introduce Reverend Dr. Forrest Pritchard to lead us in an opening prayer while we have this in mind. So.
Thank you, Dr. Toll. It is my pleasure.
I'm gonna scroll over. This is a long list of participants, so I got to scroll over and get you into the queue. One moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're on.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be a part of the Expo Planning Committee, and it's good to be in everyone's presence, even not only during the time of the Expo, but given this historic time in America and throughout the globe. Prayers are normally something that can connect us with God and His divine existence. And if there's ever a time that we all need prayer, it would be a time like this. But we also would pray for a university that helps to transform the students that come in, so that during the process of them becoming educated and skilled, that as they go forward, they will make major contributions to making this world a better place. So we're pleased to offer a prayer for the renewal of our minds, our bodies, and our souls. Martin Luther King, for example, even reminded us that our mission as a university must be in tune with divine goals, or if not, as he said in his own words, our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. So I would hope that through efforts such as the Petersheim Academic Expo, we're happy to provide that foundation that produces students who are not only academically accomplished, but are also accomplished in our spirits. And let us all bow our hearts and open our minds and souls for this brief word. Heavenly Father, during the time of a pandemic, we can all believe that we can be lost, we can be anxious, we can be in fear. But we come to you with grace. You gave us life, and you've also given us the gift of infinite joy. You give us the strength to move forward on a pathway that you laid out for us. Guide us toward better health, and give us all the wisdom to identify those things that you've placed around us that can help us to get better. And we know that you remind us in your word, as we can read in John 16:33. You told us over and over again, have I not told you these things, so that in me you have all the peace that you need? In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. So Lord, we come before you today in need of a healing hand in all things that are possible. Hold our hearts within yours and renew our minds, our bodies, and our souls. We pray this in the name of Jesus the Christ, and for his sake, amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend. That was a very great prayer. It's also a very great background you had there. I really like that. I wish I can have that.
Like David in the Bible, I've come outdoors to enjoy godly nature.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so the next person I want to introduce is Dr. Su Li Chang. Dr. Chang is also a member of the Department of Biology, and she is the director of neuroimmune pharmacology here at Seton Hall. And she's also a co-chair of the Petersheim Steering Committee. She's done yet another amazing job this year, working frantically to get everything done, not only for Petersheim, but for all of the other things that she's so busy with and doing that I used to see. Her office is right near mine, so I would see all the time people consulting with her in her office or in a nearby meeting room and things like that. And well, now she's here today to both give us her reflections and her views on this Petersheim week, and she will introduce for us our keynote speaker. So with that, I'm going to send now the camera feed to Dr. Chang.
Thank you, Dr. Toh. As Dr. Toh said, I'm also co-chairing this Petersheim, so I'd like to say thanks to my committee members and to all the administrators from the president on, provost, and deans, and particularly our keynote speaker that I'm going to great honors to introduce, Dr. Janina Gibson, for her continuous support to Petersheim. As said, Dr. Janina Gibson is our keynote speaker for the 2020 Petersheim closing ceremony. She is a national leader in academic, co-curricular, and multicultural student development. He was appointed the Seton Hall's Vice President of the Student Service in October 2019. Prior to Seton Hall, Dr. Cooper Gibson was the Assistant Provost at the Loyola University, Chicago. She also previously served as the Dean of the Student of the School of Social Service Administration at the University of Chicago, Director of African American Student Affairs at the Northwestern University, Assistant Director of the Student Activities Office at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Assistant Dean of the School of the Communication at Loyola University, Chicago. Dr. Cooper Gibson earned a doctorate degree of education from Boston University, Master of Education degree from National Louis University, and Bachelor of Science degree from University of Illinois. As the VP of the Student Service, Dr. Cooper Gibson served as a member of the Executive Cabinet and provide a critical leadership and guidance to facilitate decision-making in all matters relating to student welfare. Dr. Cooper Gibson currently oversees a whole array of student support and academic programs, including but not limited to the Academic Resource Center, Career Center, Educational Opportunity Program, Freshman Study, Health Service, Housing and Residence Life, and Public Safety and Security. Dr. Cooper Gibson currently serves as the chair of the Council for Student Success and the co-chair of the University Diversity and Inclusion Community and the Health Intention and the Communication teams. Please join me to welcome Dr. Janina Cooper Gibson.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chang. That was a very, very nice introduction, and I will promise to keep just my remarks relatively short because it's really about celebrating the students and their achievements today. So I would like to thank the Petersheim Committee for having me. It's really an honor to be able to speak to all of you this afternoon. And so I'd like to begin this short closing with a quote from Gwendolyn Brooks. "We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond." So I thought of this because Gwendolyn Brooks rightly said, "We, this is ours." And I thought about the theme for Petersheim, how do we share, honor, and unite, particularly in times of uncertainty, and especially as one university. So I'd like to share with you just a few thoughts that we've been observing in student services since my time in October. We've been following the theoretical model of Dr. David Kalsbeek, a known entity in student success initiatives, using his 4 Ps. He calls them profile, progress, process, and promise. The profile are who our students come in as. It's the high schools they went to, the socioeconomic backgrounds they're coming from, the educational experiences they had prior to getting to our campus. The progress are the academic programs and opportunities that our faculty have developed through their curriculum. Our processes are our policies to ensure their student success. And finally, the promise, what Seton Hall does to demonstrate how we build great minds. And we use this as a backdrop for our work, and we enact our work through our 3 Cs, a business model of communication, collaboration, and coordination. First and foremost, we have to better engage with one another, and that does not mean operating in silos. Petersheim is a wonderful example of this. We have students, administrators, faculty, priest community members all working together and talking with one another to ensure our student success. We have to collaborate. We have a number of different entities, as Dr. Chang mentioned. We have Diversity and Inclusion Committee, the Health Intervention and Communication Team. None of this work would be possible if we didn't collaborate our efforts in supporting our community during this difficult time. Last is our coordination of these particular efforts, creating better systems of efficiency, particularly in times of crisis. As you all may know, we've been working on the strategic plan for the past few months, and we concluded our work on Tuesday. We hope to have a draft out soon, but most importantly, it's an effort in which we show our communication, collaboration, and coordination. Petersheim is a particular example of this. Through our research, allows us to look for the complex and not simple answers, asking difficult questions and engaging in difficult discussion. We are all remaining student-centered because at the heart of our work is educating the next generation and allowing them to imagine the possibilities. Because as I heard in a meeting this morning, sometimes, particularly in times of crisis, fatigue can be the enemy of creativity. It's also important to develop our students as leaders and practice self-awareness and shared leadership. What I found in my role is that it's important to share what I know as well as what I don't know along the way. In student services, we are a recognized model for creating culture of success and excellence, but we can't do that without the partnership of our faculty, our students, and our priest community in order to build that experience together. We provide opportunities to develop the necessary skills to become more responsible and compassionate global citizens and who they serve and lead. I really appreciate this opportunity to chat with all of you this afternoon, but most importantly, I want to recognize that we're all in this together and that Petersheim really exhibits how we're all able to grow, adjust, nimble, and be adaptable in this time of crisis. Thank you so much, and I will let you all continue with the program. Dr. Tall, I think you're still on mute.
Yeah, on mute.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, so I was asked, if I wanted to have Mike running being the producer and running this for me, even though I had the producer level of control here. And my thought was, no, I want to do this. I want to have, it's like driving the car or something like that for the first time. You want to do it. So forgive me if things get a little clumsy. But thank you, Dr. Cooper Gibson, for your keynote address. You had me captivated when you emphasized the word "we" early on in your talk. I think that's a great outlook, and it was excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. So now we got to the point where I would like to introduce this year's winners of the Petersheim Student Travel Awards. This travel award provides substantial funding to recipients to present their work at other institutions so they can share their knowledge and gain experience in meeting people that are at other institutions, potentially on the other side of the country. They'll have the opportunity to establish connections, maybe to the network, and build their outlook as they progress from their education to their next endeavor. So these students who we're about to introduce, they've been recognized by their Petersheim program director as having an exceptional piece of work or presentation that has been determined to be something that should receive an award like this. Just wanted to say that all of the students who presented do excellent work. We're just focusing on a select few here, but very many of them have excellent work as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the students, and they will be giving us, I'll call out the students, they will introduce themselves, and they will tell us a little bit about what they did. And so I'm just going to ask for your patience here, because a few people might know that I've got to scroll around and find students in a list and then send you live. So I'm driving the car now for the first time. So we don't need a crash helmet. We just need a little bit of hanging in there. Okay, so I'm going to start out by introducing the first student, and this is in no particular order. Richard Sevilla, yes. You are first.
All right.
And
good. All right. Hello, my name is Richard Sevilla, and I'm an undergraduate physics major. And I participated in the interdisciplinary and study abroad oral presentations, and also the Physics Student Research Symposia as a poster presentation. My research deals with two main aspects of astronomy. One is astrophotography, and it's basically the art form of taking deep space images that requires additional image processing, such as stacking and calibration frames. These extra post-shot procedures make it slightly different than just regular photography. And then second, we also have the detection of exoplanets. So planets that orbit any other stars in our own sun are what we call exoplanets. And we can detect them through the transit method, where the brightness of the star decreases as the planet transits across it. So the main crux of my research was learning the entire process from start to finish on how astronomers are able to detect these exoplanets using various techniques in astrophotography and also the data processing programs like AstroImageJ. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Our next student is Ashiwara Rai. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please reintroduce yourself properly, and I'll take note.
That's all right. My name is Ashwarya Rai. Hello, everyone. I'm an economics and mathematics undergraduate student. I'm currently a senior. I was a part of the interdisciplinary and study abroad presentations on Tuesday as well. My presentation is essentially my senior thesis on the economic history that we learn nowadays, and basically talking about how there were a lot of contributions made by scholars of the Islamic Golden Age, and we don't typically see that in our discussion of modern day economics. And essentially I go on about why it's important to see those who have contributed, particularly from non-Western academic settings. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next student is Gregory Schechtman. Gregory, can you put your camera on so I could, yeah.
Hi.
Okay, give us 1 second for the feed to transfer. There you go.
All right. Hi, my name is Gregory Schechtman. I am a graduate psychology student in the experimental psychology track. and I presented in the Psychology Research Symposium. My thesis is looking at how social media affects cognitive performance by having subjects take a working memory capacity test, which measures how well they could manipulate information in their head while ignoring distractors before and after going on social media. And I'm also going to be taking some measures on factors associated with social media, such as how frequently they use it, what activities they do, and certain feelings such as fear of missing out that is associated with social media. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay. Our next presenter is going to be Nadia Mashhadi. One moment, Nadia. I had trouble getting you up on the screen. I don't know why, but we'll get there.
Are we good to go?
Okay.
Okay. So, hi guys, my name is Nadia Mashhadi, and I'm a second-year graduate student in the Experimental Psychology Master's program with a concentration in behavioral neuroscience. And so, a significant amount of research has demonstrated that the development of PTSD can be predicted by sleep disturbances following a traumatic event, including fragmented and shorter duration of REM sleep. And so animal researchers have used REM sleep deprivation as to model sleep in an individual at risk of developing PTSD. And so my study used short-term REM sleep deprivation to eliminate the confounding stress from previous experimental designs in which they left the rat in the apparatus for an extended period of time, sometimes several days. And so I wanted to eliminate that by using a short-term REM sleep deprivation. And I did this to further investigate the relationship between sleep and anxiety and depressive-like behaviors in both male and female rats. So this allowed me to also look for sex differences. And so we didn't find any significant differences on anxiety-like behaviors, but we did find that there was a sex-specific effect on depressive-like behaviors. And yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Our next student, Rachel Montel.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So my name is Rachel Montel. I'm a third-year doctoral candidate in molecular bioscience. First, before I start, I want to say thank you to the Petersheim committee members, to the provost, Dean Shoemaker, the omics faculty, and Dr. Chang. So I presented at the omics event. We used Ingenuity pathway analysis, which is a program from IPA. It's particularly used to look at different diseases, and it's very user-friendly. So we worked in teams with undergraduate students, and the one thing that they pointed out was that although IPA was very intimidating in the beginning, they were able to really grow and learn how to use this program, and it was very successful to them. So our project looked at cleft lip and palate and the strong genetic influence, as well as many of the drugs that are involved in causing cleft lip and palate. And throughout this project, I mentored my undergraduate students by really giving them their own ability to create. We created some figures, but to be able to really use this software on their own and to learn a lot about it. And they were very successful, and I'm very proud of them. So thank you again for this award. It's received very well.
Thank you. Next, we have Abigail Cooper. I hope I said that right.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abigail Cooper. I'm an undergraduate senior in the history program. And this morning I presented my senior thesis entitled In the Shadow of Brown, the Social Meaning of Racial Violence Against African American Boys, 1955 to 1958 in the Honors in History senior seminar presentations. In this thesis, I explored the racialization of innocence, the impact of the Black beast rapist trope, and its application to young Black boys who physical, sexual, and social purity of all white schools, and the impact that the Supreme Court case Brown v. Board had on this violence against young Black boys. My thesis centered around 2 cases of violence against Black children, one of which was 1955, and the other is referred to as the kissing case. And that occurred in Monroe, North Carolina in 1958, and was in regards to a white girl kissing a Black boy. But the girl's mother was so outraged at this interaction that she called the police and reported that her daughter had been raped. And so using these 2 events as primary examples, the purpose of this study was to understand why white segregationists felt it necessary to respond to the threat of school integration by murdering and incarcerating pre- and early pubescent African American boys.
Hey. Thank you very much. All right. Our next student is Ali Aljara, and this is actually going to be 2 students. So Ali is, after he speaks, he is going to introduce his partner Samuel on this. So.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and Ramadan Mubarak to my fellow Muslims. My name is Ali Aljara, and I'm an international relations and economics student at Seton Hall School of Diplomacy. I presented my topic on the relationship between government corruption and economic growth in a post-Saddam Hussein Iraq during the senior diplomacy research sampler. I was hoping to prove that government corruption negatively affects economic growth. However, I did not have sufficient evidence to prove my claim. For some background evidence, Iraq has a sectarian Muhassasa political order where power is equitably divided between the Shias, the Sunnis, and the Kurds. However, this created a clientelistic corruption system where citizens and groups engage through a quid pro quo environment to support political parties in exchange for economic and security benefits. To see if this system affects economic growth, I created a regression model using the Corruption Perceptions Index as my independent variable to represent corruption, while using GDP per capita as my dependent variable to represent economic growth. Overall, the model does not back any concrete evidence that corruption negatively affects economic growth, given the limitations of the data itself. But I'd like to thank the committee, and I'll introduce Sam Plank to go up next.
Hi, my name is Samuel Plank. Like Ali, I was presenting in the undergraduate diplomacy sampler. My project was on the QAnon conspiracy theory. I studied them on Twitter and found a strong uptick in violent rhetoric and paranoid rhetoric when comparing them to normal conservative Twitter. I conducted ordinary least squares regressions and t-tests to determine a significant difference between the 2 groups. And then I made a couple policy recommendations based around identifying possible perpetrators of real-world acts of violence based on their Twitter history for use by intelligence agencies and police agencies.
Great, thank you. Okay, our next student, I'm going to call this up here, is Sabrina Lopez. And Sabrina, I'm just having trouble getting you. Okay, here we go.
Is everything good?
You're good.
All right. So first of all, I would like to say thank you to the committee and to the judges for allowing me to receive this award. I'm very humbled by it. I was part of the omics presentation that happened on Monday, and my group presented a meta-analysis using Ingenuity pathway analysis software on the connection between LPS, which is a component of gram-negative bacteria, and neuroinflammation. More specifically, my part of the presentation was focusing on a canonical pathway figure of the neuroinflammation pathway that was made by my mentor, Ayuni Yosef. So my job was to analyze this figure as well as other parts of the figure overall, where there was where were the signs of upregulation, where the pathway led to upregulation and downregulation. And overall, I've been familiar with IPA since my last year as an undergrad at Seton Hall. I'm in the master's program now currently, but from this program, being part of this project, I've gained a lot more experience and a lot more knowledge on how to use IPA. So again, thank you everyone for the opportunity to present.
Thank you. Next, we have Helena Schmidberger.
All good?
1 second.
Sure. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Helena Schmidberger. And first off, I'd like to thank Dr. Cottrell, Chang, and Chu for giving me this opportunity, as well as my PhD mentor, Richard Visconti. I'm currently an undergrad junior. I'm a biology major with a minor in chemistry, and I participated on Monday in the omics event using Ingenuity pathway analysis, also known as IPA. So my PhD mentor, Rich Visconti's project was based around the Twist1 gene CD44 signaling pathway, and basically its role in relapse refractory multiple myeloma and multiple myeloma bone disease in general. So this project circled around identifying multiple interactions between genes, proteins, transcription factors, and pathways in general, and how they impact multiple myeloma, metastasis, and through that we created a canonical pathway. And my role specifically was to look at the role of Twist1 and its direct effect on the bone cells and its relation to metastatic bone disease. And I'd just like to thank Dr. Cottrell again, the provost, and the rest of the community for this opportunity. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Prachi Devi is next. 1 second.
All good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Prachi Dev, and I am a junior criminal justice major. First of all, I really wanted to thank the committee for this opportunity. I'm really grateful to Dr. Cottrell, Dr. Chang, Dr. Chu, as well as my PhD mentor, Ayuni Yusuf, for this wonderful opportunity. So for my human genetics class, the topic that we focused on was the meta-analysis of the effect of lipopolysaccharides on neuroinflammation, and we used Ingenuity pathway analysis to generate specific figures. For my portion specifically, I focused on microglia, which are glial cells present in the mesoderm that function as scavengers. And when they are activated with caprizone, which is a copper chelating agent, they are able to have paradoxical effects, which is due to the inflammation that they cause, and this contributes greatly to multiple neurodegenerative diseases. So I learned a lot from this, and I wanted to thank everyone for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, next we have Elizabeth.
Yes, is it good?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Satong. I'm an undergrad at Seton Hall University, currently in my junior year. I'm majoring in biology, minoring in chemistry. And I worked with Dr. Cottrell, Dr. Chu, Dr. Chang, and my PhD mentor, Rachel, and I presented this past Monday at the omics event. As Rachel mentioned earlier, our project focused on studying the environmental and genetic factors that can contribute to cleft palate. My personal role was to look at different drugs and vitamins on the IPA software that pregnant women could be taking and see if and how they affected cleft palate, meaning whether they would cause or prevent cleft palate in infants. I would like to take a moment and thank everyone that I worked with. This was an awesome experience despite the circumstance that we are stuck in right now, and I really enjoyed learning with the IPA software, and I really appreciate this award. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Monica Soto. Go ahead, Monica.
Hello, everybody. My name is Monica Soto. I'm a senior undergraduate Bachelor's of Social Work student at Seton University. Before I begin, I do want to thank Dr. Apgar, the director of the program, for giving me this opportunity, and everybody else who is involved in putting this together. On Thursday, my research was featured in the social work poster presentation, examining poverty from a social justice perspective. And my research specifically was on the social and economic impact of the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, on undocumented immigrants. In this research, I combated many myths, such as that undocumented immigrants drain social services, they don't pay taxes, they take jobs from US workers. And I also did extensive research into the psychological and cognitive trauma endured by these undocumented immigrants. And so in conclusion, I created a social work centered intervention, which is to advocate for basic equitable human rights, including driver's licenses, social security numbers, and access to DACA. Thank you all.
Excellent, thank you. Next we have Janina Molina.
Hi everyone, my name is Janina Molina. I'm an undergraduate and major in social work. And I also have to thank Dr. Apgar for the opportunity that she gave us. And the presentation we had, as Monica said, is the examining poverty from a social justice perspective. My part was see how the work of social workers, the advocacy we provide for immigrant children at the border with Mexico and USA. So my part was to see how the amount of children and families are leaving the country of origin due to multiple factors such as poverty and high crime and the lack of social support from the countries. And so they are in despair, so crossing the border. And also we can see the amount of children in 2008, there were from 60,000 to 90,000 crossing unaccompanied. These are children under 12 years old. And the youngest, sometimes they're traveling with their mom and they're separated by the Homeland Security. And also we can see how organizations such as the United Nations Child's Fund and its social workers are advocating for these children in despair, providing for food, shelter, and protection, and how we are, I can use the word we as Sean Cooper Gibson, she was using the word we, I identify with that we because we need people to fight for this, unjust situation we are living. And that's what the passion I have in my social work. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, next is Marius Thomas.
Hi everyone, my name is Marius Pelmush. I'm a graduate student from the Chemistry and Biochemistry department. I presented on Tuesday on the departmental poster session. Our research was focused on fluorinated phthalocyanins functionalized with the different reactive groups. These are unique photocatalysts which benefit from one part due to fluorination on chemical inertness and also due to the reactive groups on different properties in terms of photoactivity. So what we did with these compounds, besides synthesizing them, characterizing them through spectroscopic techniques, NMR, X-ray, fluorescence, we also test them, their photoactivity, their performance. And this research can be used in the production of certain drugs or degradation processes for water pollutants. All that need light in the production process. I would like to thank my team. So as is the theme of this symposium, we as a team, my team was comprised of mostly alumni that I worked while they were still here at Seton Hall, Christopher Colomier, engineer now, Hemant Patel, Ralph Foglia, now student, medicine student, Olivia Xiao, Marta Suazo, and of course our mentor, Dr. Gorun. Thank you all for this award and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Okay, next is Abigail Richter.
Am I good?
You're good.
Hi, my name is Abigail Richter. I am a junior undergraduate majoring in chemistry. I participated in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry poster session on Tuesday, and my project was studying a potential treatment for the West Nile virus. Currently, there is no vaccine to prevent or any medication to treat the West Nile virus. So viruses like West Nile replicate by penetrating the cell membrane with something called the spike protein. So through my work, I used a process called SELEX to try and attach short DNA sequences called aptamers to a sequence from the spike protein that I built over the summer. And by trying to get DNA to stick to it, to try and figure out something that could keep the protein from penetrating, so it would take away the virus's ability to replicate. I'd like to thank my research advisor, Dr. Gregory Schechtman, and the rest of my lab group, the 3B lab, and the committee for giving me this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Abigail. Okay, next we have Alexa Kowski.
Hi, am I good?
You're good.
Okay. Hi, my name is Alexis Kowski. I'm an undergrad on the 3-2 chemical engineering track. I was a part of the chemistry and biochemistry poster session on Tuesday, where I presented my poster on how to establish more efficient light-emitting diodes. So organic light-emitting diodes, or OLEDs, are used in various computational devices. However, there are issues that are associated with them. My project was focused on synthesizing iridium-based complexes, which would establish greener organic light-emitting diodes. I utilized the CEM microwave reactor to complete procedures that focused on principles for green chemistry, such as lowering the input, maximizing atom economy, and eliminating the need for hazardous synthesis. And from this, I was able to characterize some of the complexes based on absorbance, lifetimes, and radiative quantum yield. I just want to thank my research mentor and the committee for nominating me for this extremely honorable award, and thank you.
Thank you. Next we have William Davis. 1 second, William. It looks like it's not transferring over. Give me 1 second. Okay, you're good.
Oh, hello, my name is William Davis. I'm a graduate student at Seton Hall University, obviously. I'm pursuing my master's in the physics department, and I do research in the lab of electrophysics and atmospheric plasma under Dr. Lopez. I'd like to say thank you to the committee and Dr. Lopez for having Petersheim actually participate this year. I presented a poster in the Physics Petersheim Research Symposia session on Wednesday, and it was titled "The Effect of Non-Thermal Plasma on the Roots of Facilis vulgaris," also known as the red kidney bean plant. So the study aimed to look at the positive effects of weak leaf plasma treatments on the roots of the red kidney bean plant. We took data over an 8-week period where we saw positive effects on the root growth of the plant itself, as well as the produce that came off of the plant, so the red kidney beans themselves. And this is a part of an ongoing study that's been going on in McNulty for the last couple of years, where we just look at the effects of plasma treatments on plants themselves. So that was most of my poster.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. last but not least, we have Giselle Pineda.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Giselle Pineda. I am a sophomore in the undergrad pursuing a biology and Catholic studies degree. I presented on Tuesday as part of the interdisciplinary and study abroad oral presentations event. My presentation was entitled A Ray of Hope in a Country Full of Sorrow, St. Oscar Romero. In my Catholicism in Latin America class, I was given the task of researching St. Oscar Romero, and his life not only allowed me to connect to my native roots, but most importantly, he taught me how the love of God and having faith can genuinely change the world. Saint Romero grew up and was a traditional priest. However, after the death of his dear friend, Father Rutilio Grande, he turned and he had a change of character, which is known as the Rutilio miracle. And he basically used his platform and his sermons to be able to advocate for the poor and the campesinos during the Salvadorian Civil War. So before I end, I would like to thank Professor Lendrao and Dr. Mirsaku, as well as everyone else as part of this committee, for giving me the opportunity to present and for allowing me to be able to accept this award. So thank you.
And thank you. Thank you again to all of you. And thank you. And thank you again to all of you who presented. A lot of great work. It was exciting to hear all of the things that you've been doing. I don't think there's an applause function on this app, but if there was an applause button for this, I'd be hitting that button a lot right now. So understood round of applause for all of you. So we're almost to the end of our closing ceremony. We're almost to the end of Petersheim. Importantly, there's still a couple of events going on this afternoon, so there's still a little bit more to enjoy. And right now, what I would like to do is I would like to introduce Dr. Jose Lopez from the Department of Physics. He's also a co-chair of the Petersheim Steering Committee. And like Dr. Chang, he's been working really hard this week to provide us with another successful Petersheim Expo. And so it'd be really great to hear from him what he has to say about this year's Petersheim. So, Dr. Lopez.
Thank you, Dr. Tall, for this wonderful organization of the Petersheim closing ceremony. What a week. About a month ago, when the university closed down and an email was sent out that all live events, or sports events, athletic events, all the different things that we do on campus were also being closed. What a moment that was, that we all had to go into isolation. Thanks to the committee and to everybody's paying attention, wanting to contribute and keep us all together. It was a moment in which we all decided that we have to keep this tradition going that's been going on for 24 years. We're a university, and in a university, what we do is we are a learning community. We develop new knowledge, we seek out truth, we look to invent new things, innovate new things. We look to develop the future, and the future, of course, are our students and the ideas that they're developing that are going to take us forward. I'm reminded of back in 1969. As you know, I'm a physicist, and I've told this story to many of my students many times, and so they've heard it before. But what inspired me to go into science and to become a physicist and to become a researcher was the lunar landings that were done in the 1960s and 1970s. I, of course, was not alive at the time, but when I was 10 years old, they used to have these scholastic book fairs where you can pick up these books and see stuff like that. Of course, I had seen Star Wars and Star Trek on TV, but I thought that was all fake. And I saw this book with this man walking on the surface of the moon. And I said, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I bought that book. It still sits in my library at home, in my office at home. And one of the things that I learned back then is that one of the goals that NASA wanted to achieve is they knew that this was a global event. This was something that mankind had accomplished, going from the Earth to the moon. So they wanted to transmit this live and show the world what was going on. So they developed they figured they could not do it with film, with a regular movie film, because there was no way you could send that back. So what they had to develop is a device that you probably have never heard of, but it's called a charge coupled device, a CCD camera. In other words, it's a digital camera that was invented so that we could witness Neil Armstrong walking out of the lunar lander onto the surface of the moon, and then his mate with him, Buzz Aldrin, also walking out and taking their digital camera and transmitting this significant event so that all humanity could pause for a few minutes and see it happen live. That technology is a technology that all of us have in our pockets now, that's allowing us to come together as people did, as all of humanity did 50 years ago. So it's thanks to this technology, thanks to the ability to stay connected and maintain our global community, but also, of course, our own community here at Seton Hall, that we're able to do this. As you all just witnessed now, an amazing array of research and scholarship and learning that happens in our university. I'm always so proud every year when we get to the end of the week. I'm just astonished, blown away of what's happening. So in this moment of isolation, know that we are not isolated. Know that we are connected by our minds through these media of fiber optic cables and all of the digital technologies that we have at our hands. It's to keep us connected, to keep us not only physically connected, but also spiritually connected, as was mentioned many times. So we together will overcome this, and we together will be back on campus, hopefully very soon, and hopefully by the fall semester, of course, we'll all be back together. So once again, congratulations to all our student award winners. Please take the travel funding, go out into the world and do amazing things, innovate, have our next moonshot. As you see my background, I'm obviously not on the surface of Mars, but I want you to be the future astronaut that lands on the moon someday. So congratulations once again, and thank you to all members of the Petersheim Steering Committee, the Organizing Committee, the Subcommittee, to my co-chair Su Li Chang, to our keynote speaker, Dr. Cooper, for participating here today, and of course for Dr. Ed Tall for being such a wonderful master of ceremonies. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good weekend, and let's be back soon on campus. Go Pirates!
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. Just want to echo really quickly what he said. Congratulations to our student award winners, and a thank you to everybody for attending this meeting. Thank you to all those who took part. And I want to thank the Petersheim committee as well. There's a couple of two more thank yous that I want to give out. One is to the tech support, Mike Supios and Burke Loxley, for working with us throughout the week and especially this afternoon to make sure that things are running as well as they have run. So thank you guys both. Thank you to the students for your hard work. And one last thing is also thank you to the mentors of the students, to the faculty of the students who have taken the time to pass forward their knowledge and to provide the generous guidance that allows the students to learn and to discover when they do these projects and when they undertake these tasks that lead them to goals that they want to achieve. So again, much attribute to the mentors behind the work to help the students. So this will conclude our closing ceremony. I want to say to everyone that it would be great for us to get back together again. Hopefully it will be safe and we can all get back together again in the fall on campus. Until then, everyone take care, be safe, and be well. Bye now.